are about to decide, excuse me, who will advance first and make it to the round of 8. It's going to be a ZVZ. I think, as you were saying earlier, Rapid, this is going to be a very cerebral ZVZ. soO versus Rogue. I am still leaning for soO to advance here just because he's such a godlike ZVZ player, and he seems to be unstoppable. Of course, it's cliche to say at this point in time, but I think it's also completely reasonable for me to say. He's unstoppable until he gets to a finals.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the meme, right? But, you know, we've been kind of joking about every player, or every Zerg here is the best Zerg in the world, but for soO, it really does hold true. Certainly the most consistent player we have just seen in our modern era. And against Rogue, I feel like Rogue is still in that up-and-coming kind of stage, whereas soO is just used to being kind of on top. And I don't know. I would give this one to soO, but anything can happen. It's a ZVZ, and we've already seen things get way outside of our comfort zone for what we understand in this matchup. And these are definitely two players that can change that up even more.
Going into this, let's see how soO decides to open. Rogue is definitely, I would say, a little bit brainier, where soO just doesn't seem to have any overall faults. He knows how to take the game from the start all the way to the end, whether that be a timing attack that eliminates his opponent, or you know, something where he just gets into the late game, out macros, out produces, out positions. But Rogue is smart. Rogue is a very bright guy, and he definitely may be able to throw soO off.
Well, we're going to get into it. Our first game tonight will be on Ascension to Ire, and of course then Odyssey, and to switch things up, it's not Abyssal Reef, it's our third one of the holy trifecta of maps with Newkirk Precinct down there at the end. If we get to it, this might just be a 2-0 with soO advancing, but Rogue could also just try to shock the world and be the first player to get out of this group.
All right, we are now going into game number 1, Ascension to Ire. The winner of this moves on to the round of 8 in the GSL Code S.
2017 Hot 6, GSL Season 3, Code S.
In the bottom right, in the blue, with 6 silver GSL Code S medals, he is
soO.
There he is. He doesn't wear all of his medals all the time. He's a humble guy.
If he wore all those medals and went swimming, he'd drown.
He'd be crawling across the floor.
In the upper left, he is
Jin-Air Green Wings, Rogue.
And he almost killed you with that intro, Tasteless.
I know.
You gotta watch out.
The intro was poison. I don't know what.
You're breathing in all the
choked on my own spit there.
You're breathing in all the smoke and ash from Mount Vesuvius.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Very nicely done, Razzles.
Indeed.
Again, mirrored builds. I was actually wondering if maybe one of them would go for pool first aggression. Now, we saw early on with soO versus Dark a really cool game. It was on this map as well, right? Was game 1 on this map? Am I crazy?
Lift it up a little bit more. I can't read it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, soO has lost again. Oh my god, soO will win again. Okay.
soO will win again.
That is a large banner, guys in the audience.
That's it. I appreciate the work that takes to go get that made.
Tape together a lot of pieces of paper to make that one.
It's all printing paper.
Yeah.
I believe it was on this map. I might be crazy and wrong, but they had a mirror build soO versus Dark, and it went all the way to the point where they both got a minimal amount of roaches and then teched into mutas. I'm curious to see when and if this game will deviate here.
Right, Rogue is a very different player, and while we could see things just explode out of control with you know, Zerglings and Banelings early, I would actually expect both of these guys to respect each other enough to take it a little bit later, as we did get a chance to see in our first series. So, you know, this is relatively uneventful, but you're going to have to watch for the setup. Things are identical now, but, you know, what is the switch, the change-up that deviates our players from each other?
Okay, this actually might... No, it's not going to be. I was going to say this might be that moment.
No.
They both get the Baneling's Nest now. All right, so we still wait. Even supplies, even tech, even basically everything. Let's see if they both get the third base. I would assume they would both be doing that right about now.
Watch them both do it at the exact same time. Instead, actually, soO has not sent out a drone. God.
Well, he's going to send his drone to a different location, so that's at least something. You you know, this location over here, a little bit easier to hit with a wide berth attack, whereas the other expansion on the far right, you can get that a little bit later on if you want. It is Rogue, by the way, who's going for the expansion on the far left. soO, more out in the middle. But, you know, as far as tech and unit comp goes, it's basically the same. In fact, these banelings really just for defensive purposes, not really for offensive purposes. We have a lot more lings coming up, though. Let's see if they try to keep the lings back. Again, 1 or 2 ling missteps, especially with banelings in the game, and everything can be changed.
Yeah, now it appears as if this will not be an extremely explosive early game. You don't have any rushes. We actually saw soO be the aggressive player in the final game versus Dark, canceling his hatchery. But this is going to be a little bit more of a laid back. And so I feel like the real value from both of these openings comes to the player who invests the least in the early game.
I almost bit my lip off there for a second. He's got the baneling coming in here now. He's got to not overextend. I don't really see any opening here for soO to actually do much more damage.
We almost have to call you lipless there after
lipless,
that.
man. Imagine that. Just my teeth showing like, okay, guys.
Well, hey, you open the dictionary to a different page, and that's your casting identity.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't find lipless. You might find lips in the dictionary, but that would be a little bit weird if that was my casting identity.
No, I would never actually cast
Rapid and lips. They call me. Why do they call them lips? I'm like, just look at my mouth, and you'll know. Oh, good surround here on the banelings, and the banelings there actually he gets the queen and he gets out. That was really well done.
Wow.
Whoa.
The Zerg sniper there. Not the sniper, but you know, you get the idea. Now pressuring this third base, and it's Burrow being researched here. Okay, that's certainly
that's
unusual.
Novel.
Yes.
The banelings are coming in here now, and they're going right in here and trying to hemorrhage more of the lings here of soO. It looks like soO just barely has enough for the time being to hold this off.
All right, I'm protecting my pacemaker right now, Tasteless. This is getting a little bit insane. Those banelings almost just crushed Rogue's attacking force, but surrounding those. Wait.
Wow, that was really great. He was trying to hide those there to make banelings, but he actually scouts it and takes that out immediately. There are more banelings, though, for Rogue being made elsewhere on the map. I'm not clear if he's going to be ready for that, too. Roaches are coming, already out now for soO, whereas the Roach Warren is not quite done. I think there's a chance soO might try to go for a counter here with some of his roaches. Of course, he will still be susceptible to more counters from Rogue, assuming that Rogue gets his lings over there.
Whoa! It's going to be crazy. Two more.
Nice.
They're running in. No! 8 drones getting taken out. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I think it might be a little bit more even where that came from. What did he like? There was this funny moment where he burrowed that and then unburrowed it. Kind of awkward because now he's shown his opponent that he has burrow. With 8 roaches coming up here, by the way, soO is so good at just,
he just knows everything.
He needs to attack it. Okay, he just sees it. That's fine. He sees the banelings but won't do anything about it. But let's see if this big roach counter coming up here is going to be enough to do real damage. Even though that goes undetected, there's not actually enough drones here. Like, there's no way to effectively trade this just due to the spacing of the drones, but he's not going to stop.
Oh, wow. Watch him get all the way in there. Oh, my. Okay, no, he will lose those, yeah. Seeing is knowing, and knowing is half the battle, Tasteless.
Yeah. He's gearing up for a pretty big attack. This actually might be enough roaches, especially with the Ravagers here, making the roaches of Rogue move a little bit more. That's going to be annoying.
Yeah, nice Corrosive Biles position, and oh, wow. Actually,
forces a cancel there on those banelings. This is cute because they can heal. I guess you could just burrow the injured roach right in the front.
Yeah, watch him micro these roaches. No, actually on top of that one. Okay, you research roach.
I guess you don't have to burrow if you're winning that hard anyways.
Yeah, Zergling's coming up behind this. It's going to force the roaches of Rogue to retarget themselves, and soO might just have broken through.
Yeah, I think that is it, my friend. He just kind of comes through with enough, and with the injured units burrowing and then healing up, and not enough time to get an Overseer out here to directly respond and counter this.
Oh my
God. Kind of a cute way that soO played this, but totally pulling the rug out from under Rogue here.
Indeed. That rug was like a magic carpet, just flew right out from under him. All of a sudden, you just don't have enough. That burrow's so effective, and more roaches streaming in. That's it.
Okay, that's all it takes. That was very different from. This has been a very special ZVZ day, Rapid. I mean, what we're seeing from soO is exhibiting exactly why he cannot be stopped in the ZVZ matchup. Even though Rogue was really smart with how he positioned and hit things, He just looks at this moment and says, okay, you know what? You are relying so much on me being out of position and assuming that I will never have enough to win a fight. He leverages Burrow back there.
Yeah.
Just to heal up the injured units and take them out of the fight for a second.
Yeah.
And it snowballs and crushes Rogue. That is so cool.
You don't see any other Zerg do that, by the way.
No.
Absolutely not. Such a unique idea. Now, a lot of times you'll see it combined with like Roach Burrow, but even that's way later on. soO just figuring out exactly how to defeat Rogue on Ascension to Higher. Our next map will be Odyssey. Rogue's got a rough hill to climb right now. He's going up against absolutely the best of the best. Stopping Rogue's trip to the final seems an almost impossible task for just about any player. That's what Rogue has to do.
Game number 2 is ready. The map is Odyssey. soO up with a 1-0 lead. The winner of this best of 3 goes on to the round of 8 in the last season of this year's GSL Code S.
Hot 6, GSL Season 3, Code S.
Bottom right in the blue. 6-time second place GSL Code S. Runner-up.
Nice. His face is there on your screen. I was like, okay, it's too.
You are the greatest play-by-play caster I've ever
look
seen.
At what I see. That's like the IRL production tab. I say what I see.
Good.
Generic Green Wings, Rogue.
Is his opponent.
Rogue was turned into a rug last game. soO wiped his feet on him, walked out. Oh, dude, check it out on the mini-map. Rogue, well, you guys can't see it.
Yeah.
But I do. On the mini-map, a gold base is being taken.
Yeah, we like to call this the no regret strategy.
Yeah.
Got a chance to see that.
Or if you lose with it, then it's serious regrets. But
yeah, many regrets.
I should never have done that. Now I'm not in Code S anymore. But yeah, this is kind of cool.
Well, he also expands so that just in case it gets scouted, soO doesn't think that there are shenanigans afoot.
Well, I guess it would depend on him. If and when he scouts, he'd see the timing of the hatch as well. But yeah, I mean, if he doesn't see it, it's just done.
And if nothing happens,
wait a minute. soO's making a beeline over here. Thanks for coming down, guys. soO is making a beeline over to this gold base. So this seems to be just part of the build. Where
you just scout the gold bases?
Yeah, you want to move out and just identify, okay, is there a gold base? Because obviously all Zergs know you can kind of always take a gold base and maybe get away with it.
I feel like when this map first came out, maybe players didn't do that, but now it's just kind of part of what you scout. It's like, okay, well, is there stuff here? This is a way that sometimes players get a cheeky advantage. For soO, though, this is going to be something he will need to scout, and he does have an Overlord en route. We'll get there eventually, but when he gets there, it might just be too late. The base will be up and running, and see if Rogue can defend this.
Now, the biggest disadvantage of the gold base is obviously the distance in which you have to cover, essentially 2 locations. I know that there's 3 bases here, but you got to think of it as 2 just because of the entrance of the main is really where the second base is for Rogue. But, of course, the advantage is the momentum you get with the mineral lead, how much you can produce, and especially in a ZVZ with Lings and Roaches, which are obviously very mineral intensive. You can really outmuscle your opponent, but you have to get to that point where you have the advantage, and there is room for another player to try to come in here and punish him. So you have to imagine no matter what, soO is in...
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry, guys. It looked like if you looked at the pathing like he was going...
No, the pathing was going there.
He was going, but then he actually arced it.
Yeah, so...
And so he's completely not seeing this, so soO may actually just lose this game because you have to try to punish this early on or take a gold base on your own. But if you're just 3 bases versus 3 and one guy has a gold...
Yeah, that is just worse.
We don't need a mathematician to explain who has a lead there. So I'm kind of shocked.
Well,
I'm kind of blown away that you wouldn't at least have the Overlord drift over the mineral to click on it, or to see the crepe there, anything.
Well, hey, you do have, we are speaking, of course, from omniscience. soO will find this, but already there's a queen there to defend. You might not have expected there to be anything there. You saw the Zerglings just running through. Because oftentimes, you see what soO is doing. If you get 3 bases early like that, well, of course he would have scouted that. But no, skipping 1 and making it there at the gold. Well, now Rogue, realizes, hey, the jig is up, but having all that early mineral income when all you have to make are a ton of Zerglings and, well, you see those Banelings right there. Wow, that could just be way too much.
Yeah, well, momentum already going over here for Rogue. It's going to be tough to defend this. He does have some bailing.
Whoa!
Nice. Good connects there, but is it enough? I don't think it is. With those links now already doing so much damage to this hatchery.
Yeah, there's going to be infinity Zerglings rallied across the map.
Oh my god,
no, okay.
He's coming through here. Some connections on these drones.
Whoa, a great hit there. Okay, that's just a little bit too much, Tasteless.
Yep, and all the workers do go down. A dozen kills and links here to make up for the rest.
Yeah, this is what happens when you give a Zerg. Give a Zerg a gold base, and they will take a mile, or the game.
Well, I don't think you can actually recover here. I mean, the momentum's already kicked in from the gold. 28 more lings and a roach warren come in here, and it already very much hiccuped production for soO. That's it. GG, 1-1. Rogue takes that. In part to Rogue making the right build choice.
Yeah.
Part the loss to soO not finding it and scouting it.
Yeah, man, that's a heartbreaker overlord right there. Right on target, and then you change course. I mean, you saw the observer highlighting just a tiny little pixel. If you scout the mineral pad, you can see what's happening. And well, yeah, soO just missed it. Rogue, a great strategy, and just kind of the perfect storm, taking out soO.
Nicely done there by Rogue. Can he do it again, though? That was a different beast from game number 1. That was one where he made a few very good decisions, and soO didn't scout it, therefore he couldn't punish it. Of course, that's soO's fault. I'm not going to try to take anything away from Rogue there, but what if it's a more standard game? Can Rogue do the same thing with everything on the table here? And soO ready. This time around, we're going to find out. Game number 3 goes to map Newkirk Precinct. Whoever wins here is our first survivor in tonight's GSL Codex.
That's right. This one is for all the marbles. A terrible saying for a terrible game, but this one is going to be a big victory for either one of our players. You either make it out onto the round of 8, or you go down to the losers match. We'll find out as we get into our last match, best of 3. Totally bagpipes.
Are those? No, those are. That's a synth, man.
I promise you.
In the bottom left, he is
soO.
That's a synth for sure, man.
I'm still right. I'm just as right as I was last week.
No, man.
I'm just as right. Tasteless.
You don't even own a kilt, man. In the bottom right, in the red.
Generic green wings.
Now people are going to assume I own a kilt. Not that there's anything wrong with owning a kilt.
I do own a kilt, actually.
Do you?
There's pictures of me in a kilt out there on the internet right now.
Really?
Promise.
If not, there are now, but Photoshop the way it is.
This is right. Really
you put yourself out there, man, and that's what happens.
The internet's a scary place.
All right, now, just like these wolves, these overlords are going to butt heads.
I don't think wolves actually butt heads.
No, look, maybe they're rubbing noses. Oh, these guys kind of missed it.
Oh.
Kind of like our joke earlier. We're like trying to make a joke. We're like, go past each other.
Ships passing in the night.
So, I still am pretty confident soO can take this. I am so blown away that he didn't check that gold base there, considering, I understand why he pathed it down too, to see if anything was going to try to run around, because that's, of course, super common in ZVZ is to do that with links, but I look at that and I think, gosh, don't you just at least want to check just in case?
Yeah, and you saw actually Rogue scouted Classic's attempt at mining that gold base because he's just aware, hey, this is a strategy you check for. Well, not the case there in game number 1, and he'll take a win off of it. Sometimes those are the wins, those cheeky little victories that get you the big advantages in the series. He's playing from a position of strength. See if there are any deviations. Looks like soO a little bit higher Zergling count. Oh, actually making Rogue making a spine crawler here.
So, can't comment too much just now, guys, as we want these builds to unfold a little bit. I gotta say, though, this has been a great night of CBCs. Cancels it, actually.
Oh, is that like the safety spine crawler? You just make it just in case?
I suppose you can if you don't have any vision or you're not entirely sure.
I mean,
that's one way to do it. There is a banling test, by the way, being made now here for soO, which may mean he's going to try to come in here and do a little bit of damage early on. Rogue so far seems to be leaning a little bit more towards droning up and being defended. Again, the spine crawler that was canceled. That was interesting. I'm not totally sure about that. Rapid.
I mean, I'd pay 25 minerals to survive against a 9 pool any day of the week.
Well, I guess if you squeeze out a few more drones, and there is a big difference in the drone count here. It's 24 to 26, but soO was only just now beginning to catch up in that. So. I guess in some sense, Rogue, even though they're looking almost the same, kind of staying in a slight lead here, especially with the rest of these drones just now hatching.
Here we go, trying to make a wall at the front with the Roach Warren and the Evolution Chamber. Rogue is really gearing up for a very defensive style, and behind it, I think soO is doing exactly the correct reaction, putting down a third base. It is in the very kind of, I guess, more vulnerable forward location, and I guess that's kind of expected because it's a very aggressive matchup, so expanding towards your opponent, while not something Zergs usually do, might work out if you are planning to use that as a base from which to stage an attack.
So a lot of times on this map, regardless of the matchup, we see a lot of pushing at this base that soO's taking. If Rogue were to take it, we could see pushing there as well. But you know, when you have one guy on 2 bases powering up, the other guy on 3 bases droning up, or at least trying to drone up, we're usually going to see the focal point of tension be right where we saw our screen there earlier at that 3rd base for soO. Now, some of this is very textbook, but even the very best of the best can outmaneuver each other in games like this one. So we see him driving back the Overlords. It's no mystery, of course, to soO what Rogue's up to. He wants to try to slow down Vision, keeping the Lings and Roaches just out of sight.
Finally gets that Overlord, but this is a big push from Rogue. This is the power push. He sees the 3rd base, and he knows he wants to crush it. soO's Roach Warren was way late. This might just be enough to kill him. It's certainly going to be at his 3rd base before soO has enough to defend there.
You know, I think you're right, Rapid. I do feel like it's just late enough that the Roaches here of Rogue should be able to get on top of this and also get in the way of the rally points of the 3rd hatchery. And that's why he's getting this position right over here before just going for... Okay, he comes in now.
Oh, yeah, this is a little bit too much. soO's Roaches are just now hatching, but the Zerglings already...
soO might just lose this. He lost all the queens as the Roaches hatch. By the way, there's nothing but Lings streaming in here for Rogue. He's got this attack timed out basically perfectly. Drones are pulled. This is going to be very, very difficult. The queens come in here with the transfuses to buffer any additional damage that could be dealt over here. 14 drones already killed off, evening out the worker count now. And it's only getting worse here for soO.
Yeah, just too much damage being done here. Rogue survives those 2 queens coming in so clutch. It's allowing the damage to be done. Now Rogue overextending a little bit will advance into a concave, so probably this army will get cleaned up, but so many workers lost.
Kind of a funny spot we saw back there. I think that Rogue got a little bit ambitious when he tried to push all the way through there. That's going to hurt him.
Yeah, it's you can just back off and take the 3rd.
Yeah, or just back off and make more attacking units and regroup. He seemed a little bit gun-ho. In an attack that initially looked like it was working, it's like he didn't want to stop. He's like, we're going all the way to round of 8! And then his stuff dies. We've all had that happen in games we've played where you're like, I'm on it. Some kind of line from that movie Troy is playing in your head, and you're like,
you hear like the ride of the Valkyries in the background.
Yeah, and then you're like, wait a minute.
It's time. This is my calling. Yeah. I just must go in there.
Now, he is going to get missile attack before soO is, so maybe he can regroup and attack again. Worker counts kind of even. The Roaches haven't hatched just yet for Rogue, and it means he certainly won't be on this side of the map. Maybe soO hangs on. soO's pretty resourceful. You can kind of put him in any position, and he'll wiggle out into a victory.
He's a wiggle nerd.
He's like eel Zerg. Yeah, it's like trying to grab onto a bunch of eels. That being said, though, I think on paper we should all agree that Rogue should come in here with another big fatal blow and win this, right? Especially with the Lings being made behind this. They send the Roaches in, and then they make a bunch of Lings so that as the Lings that are there to tank in the front die out, more Lings stream across the map and get in the way.
Exactly, Tasteless. soO took a lot of damage there economically. He lost 25 drones, but if you look at the worker count, he re-droned hard, but he just doesn't have as much being brought to bear here. Rogue just way too much army supply. He's going to get a nice concave in here, running forward, making sure that soO's units cannot escape.
Corrosive Bile barely missing, but right now soO is just up against the ropes. Too many roaches here. And although the first attack didn't close it, I do believe this attack will. Now allowing Rogue to move on to the round of 8. GG.
Rogue, such a powerful Zerg player. And, you know, we don't really think of him as, you know, the CBZ master. TBZ by far is his matchup, but able to 2-0 soO, who is the best Zerg in the world. Rogue just earning that title for himself, possibly. He's our first player to move on.
We're going to have an interview with Rogue here and see what his thoughts are. Kind of crazy, man, because now we have soO, who's been in 6 finals of a GSL, Classic, a GSL Codex champion, and Dirk, who got second at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
And it's Rogue who gets out. You got to think that Rogue is somebody who could take this entire tournament, and I have no clue who gets out now. This is so hard to call.
I mean, for Classic and Dark, you really just have to feel the pressure, knowing that you are against a man who has been unstoppable in his trip to the finals. So let's hear what Rogue has to say about making it out first from this group in our interview. But first, Hot 6, Tasteless.
Hot 6. Thank you for sponsoring our tournament. Keeping esports alive.
The lifeblood of esports.
I believe we're ready now for that interview. So
there we
let's
go.
see what Rogue is feeling.
1위 진출자 진에어그의 뉴스 이병렬 선수입니다. 축하드립니다.
Here he says we have the sexy Zerg. It is Rogue.
자,
Congratulations. He says thank you.
성공하고 1위도 따냈습니다. 소감이 어떠세요?
일단
You succeeded and got revenge on soO. How do you feel?
지금까지 한 조 중에서 제일 힘들다고 생각했거든요.
네.
근데 이 조에서 1등으로
In my group, I just thought, wow, this is the toughest group of my life.
8강에서 정말
I'm so happy to make it out first.
자신의 실수 때문에 또 어유천스에게 탈락을 해서 8강에서
So you were eliminated in the round of 8 last season against soO. It was a really close match too.
일단은 윤수 형이랑 해보면은
But it must feel really special to beat him now.
첫판 해보니까 느끼게 되더라고요.
네.
이제 저저전
After I had the first match against soO, I could feel that soO's CBC is just super tough.
네.
이거는 내가 빌드를 써야겠구나 싶어가지고
So
빌드를 썼거든요. 근데
after I lost the first map,
잘하는 것 같아요.
그러면 2세트 풍광 트리플도
I thought I
준비된
should have pulled
뒤에
out some. I decided to pull out some of my secret builds.
근데 윤성이 오디세이를 빼버려가지고
So that proxy base that you used
그때 썼으면은
at the gold base, was that your secret build?
썼으면 좋았을 텐데.
그래요.
Yeah.
아쉬움이 있었다.
It was
자,
definitely a
오늘
build I
김도우
prepped
선수와의
for.
프로토스전 굉장히 빛났던 판단이 기억이
I should have,
남아요. 2세트
played it out a little
그때는
bit earlier.
김도우 선수가 몰래 풍광이었거든요.
네.
그거를 사실 보고도 알고도 질 뻔했었는데 이후에 이
So there was also a proxy gold base in your game against Classic, and you could have lost that map. But you set your links in that counter attack. Tell us about that.
거기서 운영 가면은
네.
이도저도 아니게 될 것 같아서
네.
한번 러시를 올 때 그걸
But I'm
싸먹거나
gonna go
아니면 뭐 이상한
the long game against
이상한
Classic
경기를
then.
해야겠다 약간 그런 식으로 생각을 했어요.
네. 근데 처음에 풍광 보고
There would probably be less
전력이
opportunities for me to win that game, so I had to go for it and try to make a bunch of links and just throw them off.
들어서
네.
상당히 당황을 많이 했고
네.
도영이 준비를
I never really seen that kind of build actually.
네.
이렇게 준비를 이런 준비를
I thought the Classic would prepare something just
어쨌든 좋은 경기력으로
it's been
1위로
pretty tough to
8강에
play
올라가게
against, but not a build like that
자,
actually.
이제 다음 상대는 D조의 2위와 경기를 하는데 김대엽, 남기웅, 전태양, 조지현 선수가 있거든요.
네.
혹시 꺼려지는
So you're going to
상대
face
있으세요?
the second place player in Group D. Any players you don't want to meet.
C조에서
Personally,
올라오다 보니까
I don't want to meet TY.
있는 선수들 누구랑 만나도 별로 무섭진 않네요.
그 어떤 상대와 만나도
네.
두렵지 않다.
네, 전 지금 4강
Since I made it out of my group,
자신감
and I
있는
beat
모습 보이가
really strong
좋습니다.
players to get here.
자, 항상 이병렬 선수에게는 8강의 벽이 있거든요.
네.
그
On some level, I don't feel I'm
각오
that
들어볼게요.
afraid of anybody really in the round of 8. To be honest, my goal is really just to get to the
저희 팀
semifinals.
선수들과 연습을
Well, what are your
열심히
predictions then for your goals
오늘도
going into the
오늘도
semifinals
역시
if you do?
연습을 열심히
Well,
도와준
if it's not
제
CBC,
팀원들과 동준이랑 그리고 또
I think I get a lot of help from my
성욱이 형.
teammates.
성욱이 형이 제가 저격을 하긴 하지만 성욱이 형이 되게 도움이 많이 되거든요. 연습할 때 벽이라서 연습 더 열심히 할 수 있게 되고 약간
I didn't catch that part.
성욱 선수가 도움을 많이 줘줬어요.
Anyway, she's got a lot of teammates that helped him in this match.
성욱이 형이랑 제가 레더를
So,
해벽에
Rogue is sending his gratitude to those guys.
성욱이 형이랑 하면 도움이 많이 되는 것 같아요.
Also, especially Zest, who helped him out a
것
lot.
같아요.
그렇군요.
네.
다시 한번 8강 진출 축하드리고요. 다음에 뵙겠습니다.
감사합니다.
The practice hitting
네,
and
역시
assists helped me a
7조의 1위
lot.
진출자 진에어 그리닝스 이병렬 선수
Congratulations.
만나봤는데요. 계속해서
He says
GSL
thank you.
이벤트 안내해드립니다.
Cool, man. Well, really cool
먼저
results to
첫
actually have
이벤트인데요.
Rogue,
중계진의 선택을 받은
the guy that gets out
Yeah.
first here. Maybe I, as a caster, tend to underestimate him a little bit too much, but first out of all these guys is kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, today has been a very special day of ZVZ as well, Tasteless. We've seen very late game strategies, never the same game twice, very innovative. Guys like Dark going for lurkers late game. You had soO taking, or Rogue taking the gold base. Just, wow, not things that you expect, but still just a treat to watch.
Yeah. We're going to be going to another ZVZ in just... Wait, what are we going to next? No, it'll be a ZVP, right? Because Classic
right.
just lost.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about, guys.
Classic versus Dark.
Classic looking pretty good, but to be honest, it's going to be tough. He's got the two best Zergs in the world after Rogue. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we'll be going on to the losers match in tonight's GSL Code S.